People often assume that if you're smart, educated, or successful, money problems won't apply to you. That intelligence naturally translates into good financial decisions. But in reality, some of the biggest financial mistakes are made by people who are highly intelligent. Not because they don't understand numbers, but because intelligence can quietly create overconfidence, blind spots, and emotional shortcuts that are hard to notice from the inside. One of the most common mistakes smart people make is believing they can outthink the system. They assume that because they understand how things work in their field, they can also time the market, pick winning stocks, or predict economic trends better than the average person. This belief often leads to excessive risk-taking. Instead of sticking to boring, proven strategies, they chase complexity. They trade too often, tweak their portfolios constantly, and believe that more activity equals more control. In reality, the data shows that frequent trading usually underperforms long-term, consistent investing. Intelligence doesn't protect you from randomness, and confidence doesn't cancel out volatility. Another major mistake is underestimating the power of simplicity. Smart people tend to favor sophisticated solutions. They want advanced strategies, clever tax maneuvers, and intricate financial products, but complexity often hides risk and fees. Simple index investing, consistent saving, and clear budgeting feel too basic to be impressive, so they're dismissed as something for people who don't know better. Ironically, these simple approaches outperform most complex ones over time. Intelligence can sometimes make people allergic to boring solutions, even when boring is exactly what works. There's also a tendency among smart people to delay action because they want perfect information. They research endlessly. They compare options. They wait for the right moment. They read one more book, listen to one more podcast, and analyze one more spreadsheet. Meanwhile, years pass. Money that could have been invested sits idle. Decisions that could have compounded are postponed. In finance, being early and consistent often matters far more than being perfectly informed. Waiting for certainty usually means missing opportunity. Another subtle mistake is confusing income with wealth. Many intelligent people earn high salaries, so they assume they're doing well financially. This creates a false sense of security. High income can hide poor habits for a long time. Lifestyle inflation quietly creeps in. Bigger apartments, nicer cars, more expensive vacations start to feel justified because I can afford it. But wealth isn't about what you earn, it's about what you keep and grow. Smart people sometimes optimize their careers so well that they forget to optimize their savings rate, which matters just as much, if not more. Smart people also tend to overestimate their future discipline. They believe they'll save more later, invest more later, or cut back later. This optimism is dangerous. It assumes future versions of yourself will be more motivated, more focused, and more restrained than you are today. In reality, life gets busier, responsibilities increase, and habits become harder to change. Delaying good financial behavior because you believe you'll handle it later is one of the most expensive forms of self-deception. Another big mistake is letting ego drive financial decisions. Smart people are often used to being right. Admitting a financial mistake feels like admitting incompetence. So instead of cutting losses, they double down. They hold on to bad investments because selling would mean acknowledging failure. They stick with poor financial choices longer than they should, not because it's logical, but because it protects their self-image. Ego turns small losses into large ones. There's also the belief that intelligence reduces the need for financial boundaries. Smart people may think they don't need a budget because they understand money. But understanding money and managing behavior are two different things. A budget isn't about math, it's about awareness. Without clear boundaries, spending decisions become emotional, impulsive, and reactive. Intelligence doesn't prevent emotional spending, especially when stress, boredom, or social pressure is involved. Another overlooked mistake is ignoring risk because it feels abstract. Smart people understand probability, but that doesn't mean they emotionally respect it. They may take on too much leverage, underestimate downside scenarios, or assume they'll be able to react quickly if things go wrong. Risk looks manageable on paper until it becomes real. Financial resilience isn't built by predicting the future perfectly, but by preparing for outcomes you hope never happen. Many smart people also fall into the trap of comparing themselves to the wrong group. Instead of comparing progress to their own goals, they compare themselves to peers who earn more, spend more, or appear more successful. This leads to unnecessary pressure to keep up. Smarter phones, better neighborhoods, and more impressive lifestyles become silent benchmarks. Comparison distorts priorities and pushes spending beyond what actually aligns with long-term goals. Another mistake is treating money as purely rational. Smart people often assume financial decisions are logical problems with logical solutions. But money is deeply emotional. It's tied to identity, security, status, and fear. Ignoring the emotional side leads to decisions that look good on paper but feel unbearable in real life. When stress hits, logic collapses, and emotion takes over. Sustainable financial systems work with human psychology, not against it. Smart people also tend to underestimate how powerful habits are. They believe discipline is about willpower and intelligence. But willpower is unreliable. Systems beat motivation every time. Automating savings, investing regularly, and reducing friction are far more effective than relying on self-control. Intelligence often leads people to believe they can manage things manually when automation would quietly outperform effort. Another common mistake is assuming that being good at one thing means being good at money. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, and entrepreneurs often fall into this trap. Expertise in one domain doesn't transfer automatically to finance. Overconfidence prevents them from seeking advice, asking questions, or admitting gaps in knowledge. Smart people sometimes avoid basic financial education because it feels beneath them, which ironically keeps them stuck. There's also the tendency to prioritize optimization over progress. Smart people love tweaking. They adjust portfolios, chase better returns, and fine-tune strategies endlessly. Meanwhile, the biggest drivers of financial success, saving consistently, avoiding high-interest debt, and staying invested, remain unchanged. Optimization is appealing because it feels productive, but it often distracts from the fundamentals that matter most. Another mistake is neglecting downside protection. Smart people focus on growth, opportunity, and upside potential. Insurance, emergency funds, and conservative planning feel pessimistic or inefficient. But one unexpected event can undo years of progress. True financial intelligence isn't about maximizing returns, it's about surviving uncertainty. Protecting against downside risk is what allows upside to compound uninterrupted. Smart people also struggle with knowing when enough is enough. Because they're capable, they keep pushing. More income, more investments, more projects. But without a clear definition of enough, spending and risk-taking expand endlessly. Financial success without boundaries can quietly turn into anxiety instead of freedom. The goal of money isn't infinite accumulation, it's optionality and peace of mind. One of the most expensive mistakes is assuming that learning never has an opportunity cost. Smart people enjoy learning, so they consume financial content endlessly. But information without action doesn't create results. At some point, learning becomes procrastination, disguised as productivity. Knowing when to stop researching and start executing is a crucial financial skill. Finally, smart people often forget that money is a long game. They want progress to match their intelligence. When results come slowly, frustration builds. This leads to unnecessary changes, risky bets, and abandoning good strategies too early. Compounding doesn't reward brilliance, it rewards patience. Time does more work than intelligence ever could. The irony is that smart people don't fail financially because they lack intelligence. They fail because intelligence makes them overconfident, impatient, and resistant to simplicity. The most financially successful people aren't the smartest in the room. They're the most consistent, the most humble, and the most disciplined over long periods of time. Real financial wisdom isn't about proving how clever you are. It's about creating systems that work even when you're tired, emotional, or wrong. When smart people stop trying to outsmart money and start respecting it, that's when things finally begin to compound in their favor. If this helped you, consider subscribing.